Hey everyone, in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I made this intro, so let's get right into the video. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up Canva, and in the search bar, you're going to search YouTube intro, and then you're going to search it and you're going to see this plus blank one. You're going to click on that. Then you are going to see this white rectangle, and at the bottom you want to click where it says elements, and then in the search bar you want to search scrapbook letters, and you're going to see a bunch of different options pop up. You can click graphics and you'll see a bunch of different ones. If you're looking for a specific letter, you're going to search scrapbook letter and then whatever letter it is. In this case, I'm using M, so I'm going to search scrapbook letter M, and then I'm going to click on the one that I would like. You're going to make it smaller and you're going to move it to the left side, and you're going to do that with every single letter of your name. In this case, I am doing MikariaJanae. I think that's how you pronounce her name, but I'm just going to do every single letter of her name. So next would be I. I'm just going to search scrapbook letter I, and then there'll be a bunch of different options that pop up. I did this one here with a heart on it, and then you can adjust it if you want it going left or right, and you can play around with it. So you're just going to watch me do that here. I'm just going to do that for every single letter of her name, and we're just going to start with the first name first, just so I can show you how to do it without being too long. And then once we have the first name done, I'll speed run the last name because the steps are pretty much the same. You're just going to search scrapbook letter, and then you're going to put whatever letter of your name. A bunch of different options are going to pop up. You're going to click on the one that you like. You're going to make it smaller, and you're just going to put them one after another, just like I'm doing here. So I'm going to let you watch me do that here. Once you have all of the letters for the first name done, from here, you are going to change the color if you would like the colors to be different. So you're just going to click on each of the letters, and you're going to see a bunch of options that say color depending on the one you chose. And for this, I am using a variety of different pink colors. So I'm just going to play around with the colors. You'll see a bunch of different options here to choose from. There'll be some color options that are already on the screen that it lets you pick from, or you can use the color wheel and choose different colors. So you're just going to kind of watch me pick some different colors, and if you want to use the exact same pink shades as me, I'm going to have the hex codes in the description below for the pinks that I use in the video if you want that same color scheme as the final intro. And to use a hex code, you would just click on the color wheel and it'll have a bunch of different letters and numbers, and you can just copy and paste it right into it and it'll change the color for you. So you're just going to watch me play around with the colors, and then we'll continue with the next steps. Once you have the colors the way you would like them to look, you are going to click on each of the letters and you're going to adjust them if you feel like they need to be moved. So for the I felt like I wanted it to be in front of the M and K. So I scrolled until I found position, and you're going to see forward, backward, and you're going to click forward to move it in front or backward to move it in back. And I'm also going to play around with the colors a little bit more. You're going to notice anytime you want to change the colors, you just click on the letter and you scroll until you find the option that says colors, and then you're going to choose the color you would like. Then if you want to move around anything, you're going to click this feature called nudge. It's right on the side of the position, and this has a bunch of arrows up, down, left, right, and you can just move things a little bit at a time. So you can use your finger if you would like, or a pen or a cursor, but it is a lot easier to use this nudge feature because it just moves a little bit at a time, and it's really nice to use. Once you have your name looking the way you would like it to look and all the colors are correct, you are going to click on the first letter and you're going to find the option that says effects. Then you're going to click on shadows and you're going to click this option here that says drop, and it's going to add a drop shadow, and you should be able to do it to every single letter. So again, you would just go to effects and then shadow and then click on drop, and this just gives it a little bit of a shadow in the background. So instead of it looking like it's attached to the page, it looks like it's on top of the page, like how Scrapbook letters would look. So it just adds that little bit to it. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click on the first letter. You're going to see these 3 dots in the corner. You want to click on that and then click select multiple, and you want to click on every single letter, and then you're going to click the option there that says group, and it just allows you to move everything all together so that you can center it to the page and make it as big or as small as you want, and you can adjust all of the letters together instead of as individuals. Once you have that, we are going to start with the last name, and you're going to do the exact same process again. You're going to choose the letters that you want. You're going to make them around the same size. You're going to put them right on top of each other, and you're going to stack them just like this. And you're going to do all of the same steps that we did for the first name, and you're just going to add all of the letters of your name. You're going to adjust them so they're around the same size. You can click the position and nudge button to adjust them. And then we're going to change the color. So you're going to click on each of the letters and you're going to change the color. Again, you just scroll until you find the color option, and you can change the color of each of the options that it lets you. Now, there are going to be some letters that will not let you change the color. For example, this A, the next A coming up, there was no option to change the color. So your options is to either delete the letter like I'm doing here and just find a different letter that you like that you can change the color of. So for now, I chose this one, and it does have the color option where I can change the color. If you really did want that original letter that you had, but it doesn't give you a color option, you can either keep it the color that it already is, or technically there are some options that you can do by adding a filter or adjusting the color a little bit by using the adjusting tools. But honestly, as a beginner, I would just suggest finding a letter that is similar that you like. So once I had all of the colors adjusted to the way I liked, I decided I wanted to use the same A from the first name. So that's what I did. I just copied and pasted that A there just so it looked a little bit more similar. And then I did the same steps as we did before to add the drop shadow. I just clicked on each letter. I clicked on effects and then shadow and then drop shadow. And so now every single letter has a drop shadow. Then from here, I decided I wanted to change the J in her last name. So I just searched again, Scrapbook letter J. I found one I liked. I color corrected it and then added it to the last name. You can change any of the letters if you decide you don't care for it or you want a different design. And then from here, I just clicked select multiple and I grouped it together just like we did for the first name. And then I used the nudge feature just to align them both to the center and make them even on the screen. Once you have it looking the way you would like it to look in something like mine, you're going to save it by clicking save as PNG, and then I just click transparent background and put the size all the way up. If you do not have Pro, you cannot do that. It will save as a white background and you just have to go into an eraser app or website and erase it yourself. I do have an eraser website linked in the description below. Then from here, we are going to go into CapCut. You're going to click on new project / new video. You're going to go to library and find a blank white screen, just like you saw here. And then it's going to open in a new project. You're going to drag it all the way out. Then you're going to click on video effects and we're going to search Doodle Diary. And once you find it, it's going to be this first one here, and it's going to be heavily filtered with text on the screen, which we don't want. So you're going to click it again and it's going to give you adjust options. And we're going to turn the sticker all the way down to 0 so it doesn't say the have a great day. And we're going to put the texture, speed, and filter to about 50% for all of them. So it should look something like this, and then you're going to drag it all the way out. We might not need it this long, but for now it's good to have it this long just in case we do need it this long. Then from here, you're going to click on overlay and add overlay, and then you're going to add that text that we just created in Canva right into the project. And this is how it should look so far with everything dragged out. You should have the paper effect in the background, and then you should have the scrapbook letters on top. Then from here, you're going to go to filters, and there are so many different options for a filter to choose from. I just did the 4K option, which is a pro feature, but there are so many free ones. It can change the color, it can change the mood of the text. I would definitely play around with the filters. Then from here, you're going to click on the scrapbook letters and you're going to click add animation, and you're going to find this option here that's called sticky note. And I just put mine to 2.5 seconds long. It is a pro feature, but there are lots of different free ones that you can use as well that will give you a really pretty effect. Then from here, we're going to go onto YouTube, and in the search bar, you're going to search green screen subscribe button. And there are plenty of different options to choose from. I'm using this pink one here. If you don't want to go look for it, I have it right linked in the description below, where you can just click on it instead of having to go search for it, and you can screen record it right from there. So once you screen record it, you're going to go to your camera roll and you're just going to crop it. So you don't want any of like the description or anything like that in it. You just want the green part. So you're just going to see me crop it, and then you're going to also see me crop the sides so it starts where the green comes in instead of having like the screen record options, and then you're going to save it as a video. Then you're going to go back into CapCut, you're going to click add overlay, and you're going to add the green screen that we just cropped right into the project. Then from here at the bottom, I'm going to scroll until I find remove BG, and then I'm going to click chroma key, and then I'm going to click the color picker, and I'm just going to higher the intensity, and then you can play around with the different options so you get rid of the majority of the green. And then you just want to shrink it down so it's right underneath the name, and then you're going to make it smaller. And now we're going to do some adjustments to the subscribe button. And so first, I just clicked on it and I clicked where it said volume and I shut it off. You don't have to do that if you want like the effect, the sound effects in it. You can keep that, but I didn't want that for mine. And then you're just going to click on it and you're going to click speed, and I put mine to 2 seconds so it's a little bit shorter. If you want to keep it long, definitely keep it long. If you want to keep it shorter, then do that as well. And so then I decided to crop out the part where it pops in so I could add my own effect. And I'm using this quirky expansion effect, and I put it to about 1.5 seconds. Now again, you don't have to do that. You can keep it the way it was before where it pops in, but I just wanted to add a different effect. Then I went to filters and I added the 4K effect. And then I went to HSL, which is like you can adjust colors. And so I went to the pink, I hired the pink all the way. I went to green, I lowered the green all the way. Then I went to the brilliance option and I put it to -27 so that it was a little bit more pink. I know it's a lot of different information, but basically you just want to play around with the colors of the subscribe button so it matches kind of the color scheme of your intro a little bit better. It might be different based on the colors that you use versus the colors that I used. So you might not follow the exact colors that I used, but that's just so you have some visuals that you can follow along with. Then the most important part is just the removing the green screen. So again, you would click on the green screen, click on remove BG, click on chroma key, and then select the green with the color picker, and it should remove it for you. And then you can adjust the filters and colors after. Then from here, underneath the intro, you're going to see an option that says plus add audio, and you can click on that and it'll give you a few different options to extract, add sounds, to do whatever you would like to do with the sounds, add sound effects. And then you can just shrink the sound down. You can fade it in and out so it doesn't start or end too abruptly, and that's what I just did there. And then once you have the intro the way you would like it to look, at the front, you're going to see an option that says cover, and you're going to click on that and you're going to select a cover that you're going to remember or something that you want to be the cover of your final. Then you're going to go to export and you're going to put it at 4K at 60 FPS, and this is the final intro.